All right, today we are going to be putting together the ClickRigs MD-RD 01 desert truck. So it's a model of a trophy truck. It's got a 4-link rear suspension and a A-arm front suspension. So open the box, got your soft parts, build guide. You'll be able to find this video if you scan that, but if you're already here, we've got 2 color parts in the chassis components. We've got tires and bearings. This one comes with a functional spare tire to balance out the rear, so that's why it gets this extra bag. We've got the snap insertion tool and the snap build plate. Just gonna kind of open everything up. Bearings. I like to just kind of organize parts by whether or not they need snap dots inserted. So essentially, if you can kind of see that, anything that's got one of these round pockets gets a snap dot. And so, whereas like these pieces do not. Okay, now we've got our soft parts. You have to be careful because these snap dots are tiny. I'm just going to separate all the parts that aren't the dots into a little pile. Okay, so now we've got this big pile of snap dots. There are a few different things in here that we need to find and be aware of. The first is going to be the axle wedges, and these are super tiny. They look like they're nothing, but they are important. They are going to wedge the bearing onto the rear axle so that over time they don't come off. It looks like that. You need 2 of them. It comes with some extra. We're just going to kind of set those aside like that. And then we're going to pull out, these are the snap studs. Essentially what these do, these go into a snap dot hole and turn it into a stud instead of a pocket. We're going to use those to attach the cab. We'll do that last, so we're just going to pick those out. Kind of like Where's Waldo with some of these. Okay, now the final thing we're going to do, there are 2 kinds of snap dots. There's the regular one, which has a solid kind of floor. And then there's the heavy duty snap dot, which has a hole kind of in the bottom to distinguish it as a heavy duty one. We only use the heavy duty ones in a couple key places, and because this particular model has such highly loaded suspension pivots, we use the heavy duty snap dots in those locations. So what I like to do is pull most of those out as well and start with those. That way we can just get them out of the way, and then we can finish inserting the rest of the snap dots without having to pay attention to where they go. There are extras of these as well, I believe. I think I got them all. There might be a straggler in there, but that's okay. Another thing I like to do is just kind of go in and flip all the snap dots. It's my dog in the background. Most of them over. Just makes this a little easier. Or at least a good number of them, and then as you go you can flip the rest. So let's start by putting in the heavy duty snap dots. So we're going to start with these aluminum side pods. And essentially on the top side, it's going to get a heavy duty here and here, and on the bottom here and here. So let's start with that. We'll take our snap dot tool, pop a snap dot on, and so the heavy duty ones can be a little bit of a pain to get in. Kind of want to get it seated evenly and just firmly kind of press straight in. If it goes in crooked and it gets stuck and you can't correct it, you can take a pair of needle nose pliers and pry it out and start over. It won't damage the dot. Just kind of seat it well. So top side right here, and then flip them over on the bottom side here and here. Okay, so bottom side there, top side there. Set that aside for now. And then we'll do, notice there are these 3x3 connector pieces. We want the white one, or the one that is the singular color if you're using a different kit. And that's going to get a dot here and here. And that one you can kind of see started growing in a little crooked. So I'm just going to kind of pop it straight. Right back in like that. Just that. And then on one of these, that one, 1x3s, the two outer bits get one as well. And essentially these are going everywhere that a suspension pivot connects. So that could be, and then this mat here for these pieces is, you can kind of pop it in to kind of make it a little easier to handle the narrow pieces. And then in the axle. So Then from there, we're just going to put the rest of the dots in. This one already has some. I just kind of, for these ones that are only one wide, I like to use the mat. Now the easiest way to do this is you just take the tool, and all of them that are facing up, you can just kind of pick one up, pop it in. And these snap dots, they're an elastomer, so they're flexible, and they're basically what absorbs the energy if you play a little rough with your rig and have a lot of crashes. This will keep, usually, the rigid parts from breaking, and they are rebuildable. If you crash a lot, they can loosen up over time, but you can just get a new pack, take them out, and pop some new ones in. It's kind of like maintaining bushings, except for not as much of a pain. And of course, you only have to do these for these components once the snap dots are in. Oh, see, that one is a little off. Just pull it out and start over. Yeah, you only have to do this once. So if you take the rig apart to build something new, you don't have to take the snap dots out or reinsert. This is just kind of a, generally speaking, a one-time assembly step. This one already had some black dots in it because I've assembled this kit before. don't have to use the mat, but I kind of like it. At this point too, you can feel free to skip ahead in this video if you aren't following along and you just want to move on to the next step because you already have all the snap dots in. But we're almost there. Gotta remember to do both sides though. See a little hair on the TPU, you can just kind of peel it off. Not an actual hair, it's just a little stray piece of plastic from the production process. Now on the cab, we're only going to put the snap dots in on the top. The bottom has holes for snap dots, but we're going to use the snap studs there in order to convert that so it can snap on the top. So don't put any snap dots in the bottom, just the top. And this tail section actually has one under here, which is a lot of people forget. So I think we've got all the dots in now. Like I said, it comes with some extras just in case you lose some. Let's put those aside. Okay, so we're going to start with the chassis and the cap. So basically, we have four kinds of major components in the ClickRigs systems. You've got chassis, which effectively have a snap dot on each side, so you can build up or you can build down. And then you've got a connector, like these kinds of parts, where there's a snap dot on the top and a snap stud on the bottom, and then those you can just keep stacking up or down in either direction off the top of each other. And then you've got caps, which essentially terminate how far you can build. They have snap studs on one side, but they're not designed for anything to be consistently snapped within the system on top. So chassis, connectors, and caps. So we're going to start with the chassis. And these two caps. I'm just going to do like that. Now we're going to take our side pod chassis parts, and remember the heavy duty snap dots. We want the one that's here to be facing up and the one that's here to be facing down. Just going to go just like that. Same thing on this side. Heavy duty, heavy duty. Now you got that. Now let's take lower front A-arms. Now if you'll notice, this has a short arm and a long arm. The long arm goes toward the rear, which is this way, and the short arm goes to the front. So that snaps on there like that. We've got the butterfly spring for the front. And then same, you can see you can put it in like this, or you can put it in like that. So it should go oriented just like that, where the taper goes toward the rear. Then we are going to take the odd colored one, the one that we put the two heavy duty snap dots in, here and here, and we're going to snap that just like that. So the two heavy duty snap dots are in the forward corners. You see kind of the first two. And we're going to take 1x3. That. And we're going to find the one by 3 where we put the heavy duty snap dots, one on each side with a regular one in the middle. So heavy duty, regular. And we're going to put that just like that. And then we're going to take our upper A-arms. And again, there's a long side and a short side. The long side goes to the back. So you get oriented like that. Then we're going to take these little components right here. These are the link pins. We're just going to kind of insert them in these little holes. Just like that. Now, you're essentially just going to snap them in place like that, and you have a functioning unequal length A-arm. We're going to take one by 4 like that, lock it in. We're going to take our ball end links, and as you can see, there are 2 kind of shorter ones and 2 kind of longer ones. We're going to run the shorter ones up front. You can switch these around. We also sell a tuning kit that has lots of different lengths of these, so you can change the ride height. You can kind of see in there, there's a little slot in the lower arm, and the ball just pops right in. And I like to take my finger, bend this back, and kind of grab the side, and then the spring has a similar kind of slot, and the ball will just pop right in. The other side. So now you've got an A-arm front suspension. And that tuning kit also has different thickness springs, so you can change out the spring rate and adjust the spring rate and the ride height independently if that's the sort of thing you're into. So that's pretty much the front end. Now let's move on to the rear. So let's assemble our trailing arms and our triangle pivot. And so these trailing arms kind of have a front and a rear. You can see this little pocket right here. That's the pocket for the ball end link as well. These stiffeners just kind of pop in just like that. These trailing arms are symmetric, so they can go either side. And then the triangle stiffener or triangle link, similar kind of thing. We'll pop those in just like that. And same, we're going to put the link pins in. The triangle stiffener, they're going to go in on the top side. Just kind of pop them all in first. And for the trailing arms, they're going to go in on the bottom side, so this side. Now we can start putting it together. So, like I said, the pocket for the ball end link is biased forward, so that's the forward part. That is going to go into that heavy duty snap dot on the bottom, just like so. Just like so. And this is going to go into those two heavy duty snap dots on the top. Just like that. And we'll take our axle. And there's a flat side, so the flat side is going to go down. I like to pop the center link in first. And bottom two. Now you've got a triangulated four-link rear suspension, just like on a trophy truck. Goes up and down a lot, articulates, doesn't move side to side or front to back. So it's a pretty neat mechanism. So now let's start assembling kind of the rest of the top bit here. We've got just kind of going to build out the layer here. So 1 by 1, 1 by 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 2. This one has black dots, but yours will have all the same color dots. Got that. Now we've got these two, and then let's take our rear springs, and these are mirrored, so you want them basically so that they kind of flare out. So if you're looking down on top of it, they'll go like that. Now this piece here is going to fit right there, which means our spring is going to snap on just like that, and then it'll fit kind of down in that pocket, just like so. And same on this side. Kind of line up your spring, snap it in like that. There's that, and now we can take our ball end links and similar. We're just gonna pop it in there, pop it in there. Just kind of snaps right in. You'll feel it snap if you have it seated. So now we've got springiness. And then let's take one of these, 1 by 5, put across there, another 1 by 3, just like that. Now let's assemble our hood. Easiest way to do that is to take 2 of the 1 by 3s. Snap that on and kind of square it up. Looks just like that. Now, this looks very similar, but you'll notice on the front edge it's very rounded, and on the back edge there's this kind of like angular cut. And so that goes toward the rear. That's going to go on just like that. And this piece snaps in between, just like that. And that's our hood. Now let's assemble the cab. So we don't need or want a snap stud in every single hole. We just kind of want to run essentially around the perimeter. So I like to kind of do a line at the front. These kind of pop in just like that. It can help to twist them. Also, you can use a pair of needle nose pliers to get these in a little easier if you're having trouble. But you kind of push it in and twist as you go, and it'll snap, and then you kind of just have to straighten them out. They're kind of like little miniature joysticks. I like to primarily do a line across the front and back because this tail section goes on cantilevers out and puts a fair bit of load where it wants to peel that thing up. So, and then in the middle of back, you've only got 3 because you're only contacting here. We'll just do 3. And you can use these snap studs anywhere on any connector that's got a snap dot pocket to convert it into a snap stud. I'll do 3 on each side. And so a little twist helps get it started. I kind of want to make sure they're straight. Pliers do make this a lot easier, but once you get the hang of it, it's not so bad. So that's that. And that, because these aren't always straight, sometimes you might have to readjust. I kind of like to get them all Caesars in the hole and kind of wiggle it around a little bit. That's pretty good. So that snaps just like that. And then I generally run them like that. Now we'll assemble our wheels. So 608 skate bearing, the wheel has a small hole and a big hole. Bearing pops into the larger diameter hole. Kind of press it in like that. And those just, the discs just pop in like so. On the other side. And the tires, you just kind of peel around and make sure they're pushed up against this lip on either side. They generally run straight. Seat the beads properly. A little foam insert inside stays inside the tire. That just helps simulate like it's got air pressure inside. So there's that. Now, this part can be a little bit tricky. These little tiny wedges, when you first put these on, when the axle is new, these rigid axles anyway, it'll pop on tight, but after a little bit of play, that loosens up and the wheels will start falling off. So it's best just to kind of put the wedge in now. The wedge is kind of, it's got a sort of a blade edge. It's a soft rubbery piece, but it sort of has a sharp edge. That just kind of goes right in that, just kind of sits in that slot. Just like so. Just like that. And I kind of just hold it down with my finger while I press press that on. It presses all the way up to the edge. We don't do that on the front because it's already squishy, but we just have to do that on this rigid one here. And then these just press right on, no wedge required. And then we've got our spare tire mount. And the way this, you push this up and through. So you kind of, easiest way is to kind of push it through the slot. And once you've got it almost all the way, you can kind of push and pull. And it seats just like that. And those are extra parts. And then this is a miniature. If you don't have the big tool and the pad, all the kits come with this little snap insertion tool. But the bigger one is much nicer to use, so I recommend using that. So there you go. That is the MD-RD-01 trophy truck. You can see it really likes to flex up. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching.